Hi, welcome to a brand new video. If you watched the last video, you know what it's going to be. It's the idbox 3D printer by Deagostini.
With no head.
And me with no head, just about. Oh. The Simpsons are today as well. Yeah, it's gonna probably be 12 videos at least, because they're coming to packs of 12, one at a time, pack 1, 2, so on and so forth. So I'm going to do one video per pack. So it's going to be a bit easier. That's what it's going to look like, fully see through, you can see it. Hopefully I'll get it working, maybe we'll see. Also, so first, our shell's in the background over there, as you can see. So you first get this is, what do they call this? Not reinforcing plate, table base lower section. Obviously it's got all brown paper on one side and clear paper on the other. So the first task to do is to take this off. You can hear some weird noises in the background. That's I just moved into a new flat. Or not just moved in, been here a week now.
Yeah, it's in a town.
Yeah, we're near the town centre, Grays town centre, so you might have some weird noises, loud cars or bikes in the background.
Got new traffic lights.
Yeah, hear some traffic lights, so yeah, you hear some weird stuff like that in the background quite a lot, so you peel this off.
Sing along.
If you know the music, new sounds. I don't know it at all. This comes off quite easy, he said, when you pull it off like that. But I won't be doing this all on camera, these peeling these off. I'm going to show you what it looks like first. And I'll do the other bits, I'll show you them first before I peel them off. And I'll be back with you in a minute once I've done these first one first. How is everybody? Hoping that people like this new videos. Anyway, I'm probably going to do them anyway, so tough if you don't like them. I'm not going to be doing a live video for a little while. I've got my I haven't got my R2, but it's been delivered-ish to my mum and dad's house. But the problem was no one was home, so I have to wait until tomorrow to collect it from town. I need to peel off the back in here. I'll do this off camera and the other two parts. These two reinforcing plates, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Be boring video otherwise, so a lot longer than I thought it would. That's all the brown paper peeled off both sides of the thing. Obviously it's got enough right way round and right way round. See this little weird indent here? It's not one on this side, so you know what way round it is. I peeled off the bits of these as well. Need good fingernails to get these off. It's not easy. So first of all, these are identical. So what you do, you get the nuts. These weren't sorted out, so you have to sort them out yourself, which is a bit of a pain. To get the M3 nuts, I think they say M3 nuts. One sec. Yeah, M3 nuts. Yeah, like that. And you push them into the reinforcement plates. I'll show you that in a sec. Like so. Yeah. That's why I was just talking to the camera. Yeah, like that. Obviously 3 on each one. It says if they're really loose, like that, to use some wood glue to hold it in place. So I'm going to try without, because there's too much faffing about. Let's see what happens there. If I have to, I'll find some wood glue somehow, somewhere. It says if you can't put them in one way, try it the other side. It says. And then they'll fit in there easier. They've got to get it put in straight, because if we put them in an angle, they probably won't go in. Right, I'm back. Yeah, made a bit of a mistake there. You have, if you're like mine, you have to use wood glue. I've used wood glue on there to secure them in place. I tried doing it without it, and they were falling out instantly. You know, used a dab of super glue, wood glue. I used it in a pot like this for my R2, and I didn't have any toothpicks, so I had to get a little wooden dowel, trim the side down a bit to make a little point, to show you where I could do it. Just put a dab of wood glue on there. Then back to where we were. Right, so you get the lower plate, put it so that the cutout is facing me. When it's facing me is on the right, so it's on the floor like that. Then get the supports, turn them upside down and put them into the slots there like that. Do that with both of them. Try hoping the nuts don't fall out. They don't. So they're like a V like that. Then turn them upside down, which is easier said than done. Keeping them in place on the table like so. Then you've got 6 holes, 3 on each where the nuts go, and you get the M3 by M3 truss head screws, 12mm long, 6 of these like that. I've measured these because these all come in big bags, and a washer, obviously, and you get them all 6 of them like that. I've got loads of screws. I'll show you these. Look, I'll turn now. See all them packs of screws there? That's a lot of screws I've got to sort out. No, might not be all of them either. I just have to mess about with them slowly but surely. And it's the first time in my builds. Not the first time I've used it. The first time in my builds I'm going to be using my new screwdriver. Thanks again for Penny and Horlicks for the recommendation on this screwdriver. I'll show you it in a sec because I haven't shown it on screen yet. I've been using it for DIY when I'm building this, when I moved in. Here it is. This is the screwdriver. This is called a Aurea, and as you see, all them screw heads, different sizes. There's even nuts, and there's what are they called? Sockets, and there's Allen key sizes. There's cross star screwdrivers. There's all sorts. There's tiny heads and everything like that. And this is an extender. This is not an extender. This is a bendy bit to make it go around corners. This is an adapter to fit different sizes. And this bit also, you don't just normal screwdriver. It's extendable. As you can see, you just pull it back and then you just click it however you want it, like that. It's a long piece of screwdriver now. I just use it short, and it's got a twisty end on the bottom there. Enough about the screwdriver. And then you just put the M3s by 12mm, 14mm screws in the holes. Don't do them tightly, do them loosely. It says there's quite a few hints in this magazines. It says do them up. If you over tighten the screws, the acrylic cracks or breaks, it can be repaired using an adhesive designed for acrylic. So if you do it up too tight, it says you can fix it. It's probably easier than getting replacements for the R2, for 3D printer even. So do them up loosely, just so it bites and they're not going everywhere. Then this will be the first stage of the build done. Nice and simple. Once I've got my bearings, I've got the wood glue and everything ready, then that was it. That's next one should be slightly easier because I've got it already. Got to get all the parts first though, because I've got to sort out through the screws and all the butt bits. And there, that's that done. As you can see, it's all screwed in nicely. They're not loose. I ain't tightened them up really tightly either. So that's the first stage. Is this they called stages? Yeah, stage 1 done. As long as you have it so that when it's on the table and the brackets at the bottom, and you have this at the top left when it's on the table, then you know it's right way around. Just double check that with the pictures, always do, and that's right. Okay, I'll be back with you with stage 2 in a minute once I've sorted out the bag of screws and nuts and that's that done. I've gone ahead and put the nuts and glued them on. There's 4 nuts in these ones this time. 2 of them like that. I'll say look like that. Then you do the same thing you did last time. You turn the base upside down, and you get these. This time they go above and below the lines you put in there last. again, the glue's holding the nuts in there pretty well, like that, see? Top and bottom. You hold them in place again, and you try not to drop it all. And then you get, again, 8 of the 12mm screws. In the bag you get a 10mm screw. Just try not to mix them up with the ones you've got the 12. Use a ruler, or in my case tape measure. Couldn't find a ruler. Can't find anything at the moment. Can't find much in this house at the moment. As I said, I only just recently moved in, so everything's moved around. Everything's probably still at my mum's, where I left the rest of it. So you just get 4 screws, and with the washers again, make sure you put the washers on. Did I put washers on there? Yeah, make sure the washers are on them. Again, don't over tighten them. Imagine that, breaking this, the first part you build is you break the first part. That'd be a bit pathetic, wouldn't it? The next part I'm going to have hunt around in the box for the next bits. Got some parts. The next part is like the bed for the 3D printer. Now a lot of people were a bit hopeless with this 3D printer. They don't want it because they don't have a heated bed. A lot of 3D printers now have heated beds. It makes it easier for the 3D printer to stay where it is, and easier to take it off the bed supposedly. So we'll just have to see how it goes. If it works well, it works well. It's got this little mat that comes with the build. It might help it stay in place. I've heard like putting like painter's tape. I think I've heard put on the build plate. You screw it in there, 8 screws, 4 there, 4 there again, and that's that done. Again, make sure this is the top left when you put it right way around. And that's that bit done. The next part of this stage 2 is you need just make sure I've got to find this little small plate, and I'm thinking that's where the other parts I need for the next part of the build is. So I'll be back with you in a minute. I'll find out a bit quicker than I thought I would. It was in a bag with loads of 4 springs and these bits that will hold the plate straight behind me. You get this little plate, they call it just a small metal plate, or they call it something else. I'm on technical words for these things, and I make them look a bit more professional. Number 4, small metal plate. I thought it'd be named something else. I think that's sort of when the plate goes a certain way, it'll stop if it goes too far, like a limit switch. So you get the 10mm screw that came with the 12. Make sure it's 10mm. Put a washer on. Don't think it matters too much, but probably best to do what it says. Put a washer on, then get the plate. Just a screw in for a whole metal plate. Make sure you use a 10mm screw, not a 12. It says. Then you put the nut through that way, screw through that way, and you get one of the nuts, and you put it in that notch you use to make sure it's the right way around, and use probably a bit more glue, hold it in place. Maybe it matters too much, but I will anyway. Like that. Then you put it so that the plate is hanging over the edge there like that, and just screw it in place and make sure it's level. Girlfriend's trying to distract me in the background as always. Okay. Make sure it's nice and level. There's really precision with this build, really. Again, don't over tighten, and it should look like that. So you have it the right way round. This is coming up the top. There's a right there like that. So when you move the base, tail base, holding that in place with screws. There's always nice little hints in here, and they're quite, as you can see, that it says hint and tightening the screws. There's hints everywhere, points and hints and everything. Tells you everything, which is pretty good. Well documented, this book. Shame sometimes I think there are problems, but they've actually what's it called, rectified it online, so I always check online. We'll come to that later when it gets to the what do you call it, there's a fan that says the wire is supposed to go a certain way but it goes the wrong way. Okay, so that's that done. Now what you need is one of the parts that sec. I've got everything off to the camera and all the plastic bits. Right, so you need this plate. It's going to be filmed over a few days. I've got a few things to do, so that'll be fun. So this plate, does it have? It don't have a specific way round, and it don't have any protective plate. I don't know why this don't have protective on it. So you've got two sides. You've got this side's got countersink holes in it, and the other side hasn't, obviously. And you get the long 4 screws. What are they? How long are these? 25mm silver screws. You put them in through the countersink way like that, and they screw in place. It says dropping it. Make sure you screw them in the right way. It keeps dropping it. Yeah, screw that, as good as it. And you just screw them in all the way. Do not over tighten the screws, and rest the base in something where you insert the screws. Or in my case, just hold it in half. I'm going to show you one on the screen, so no point showing all 4. Just loosen it so that it's level, or just under level with the screw at the top like that. That's it. I'll be back when I've done the other 3. Okay. That's them 4 screws in there like that. Pretty simple. Just line them up, screw them in. It takes a little while because they're quite long. And what you do is you get one washer like usual. Put them on all 4 screws. Obviously face up like that. I'll do this on camera so you can see it actually better. It'd be better, wouldn't it? Where are we? Yeah. Put washers on there like that. Then you get a spring on each corner. So then you get another washer. Oh, I thought I had one missing, but I didn't. Okay, that makes sense now. They're stuck with the other one on the others. Put that in the bag on each one of them. Then you get these silver nuts. Okay. Where you just put them on and then you slightly do them up, I think. So the page. Oh no, you don't do them up yet. Sorry. Hello. Just put nuts, the washers, the springs, then the washer again. Do not put these silver ones on yet. Then you leave it face up like that and get the base you built earlier. Now the metal plate to the right, so it's upside down with the brackets there. Then you put it over the 4 holes, the base you just built. Like that. Just like that. See? So you get this up base bit upside down. The the thing on the right like that. And then you put the 4 silver nuts, screws, things on. What does it say? The nailed nuts are used to adjust the gap between table base sections so they can be aligned in parallel with each other. Check the springs expand and contract when you do up the nuts. Not your nuts, the nuts. Let's do it up slightly. I'm probably going to do it up so they are level near enough with the top of the nuts. So then I know roughly how high they are. This is just rough at the moment, so you don't have to worry about it. What are you laughing at? These will be adjusted later on, and there you are. There's all 4 nuts, and these spring up and down quite, as long as they move quite nicely like that, you know you've done it right.
It's like a little game thing.
Yeah, it is like move back and forth. And then that's that stage 2 done. I'll be back with stage 3 in a minute when I find the parts. So back with me. Hey, right. Last stage for this pack. It's a nice quick one. So you get this. This is the, what did I say actually?
Photo frame.
This is the right side panel. What I might do is mark these with like a little, with a bit of sticky tape, so I know what one's which. Because at one point you have this that way, upside down, back, front, upside down, all everywhere. So to make my life a bit easier, I might put an R on a bit of sticky tape somewhere on this one.
Arrow saying this way up.
Yeah. So I know, right. So then where you have it, when it's on a table, with this at the bottom left, and this hole in the bottom left, and you got like 2 little screws up here, screw holes. This is where the limit switch will go, which will be putting on here, and then that's it. So what you do, you get, to make sure it's the right limit switch. See. This is what a limit switch is called. This will be if the. Oh, it's just. It's not. You can see it. It's not worried about what it says. The other bits they just tell you what they are. They're resistors and the connector for one of wires.
Can't resist it.
Yeah, I don't know what this bit here is, but you get that. There's a few of these in the pack. I think 3 or maybe 4 of those. Then you get 14mm. Just double check this is a 14mm screw. I checked it before I got it out of the box, but back. But yeah, I was looking at feet, not the wrong size. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 2 14mm screws. You get these plastic washers that came with the limit switch, and you get 2 nuts and the screw, 2 nuts and washers. So you have it that way up, so this to the left. Put the 40mm, 2 of the 40mm screws through the holes, like so. Then you put the plastic washers on top of them first. This is so that it don't short out when you put it onto the plastic. Then you get the base top. And you have it so that the and don't drop that little bit of plastic, which is almost impossible to see. You have it so that the, I'll show you a sec. So that these little prongs are pointing downwards towards the big hole. Then you turn it over, and you put a washer on the bottom back of the screws, and then the nuts. And then this will be it. That'll be for this video. I know it's a short one. The next few will probably be quite a lot to do. What's it say? Just hold the screws in place with your fingers, screw a nut into each using your fingers. Turn the panel around, loosely tighten the screws with a screwdriver. The screwing, it says here, the tightening of the screws will be done later. This means that I think it's got to be positioned in place later. And that's it. Now there's a limit switch on the right hand panel, as you can see, just about in shot. I'll move this up a bit. Again, noisy gits in the background. Right, that's it. Please like and subscribe to the video. Check out my other videos. Girlfriend says goodbye. The R2 videos will be coming soon, hopefully. See you. I don't know when I'm going to be doing this next one. See you soon, hopefully. Bye.